What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the Tutorial Boss Guapo. With me is the guy who looked Stephanie McMahon straight in the eye and said, "No, he's really a good dude. It's okay." The one and only Mike Caldwell. Mike, what's happening, man?
What did I do? Wow. I didn't even realize I met her. CTE at its finest.
I'm saying that's CTE at its finest. It's been a crazy week. It's been a week full of weddings and baby announcements and chest caving in and wrestling.
Yes.
It's been a wild one. Before we get started, got to say what's up to J-Reb, subscribing for a 23rd month in a row. Cameron, love you, brother. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Of course, Mikey here. He is subscribed for a 22nd month in a row. Appreciate you. And before we get too deep into everything, say what's up to Rick. And let's do some thank yous. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro outro music. Track's called Head Rush, album's called Monsters. If you haven't checked it out, you need to go to their website, labor12.com, laborxii.com. Find out everything they've got going on. They got some cool stuff coming up. Thank you to Joe and American Legacy for our Not Your Average merch, hats, beanies, skull caps, bandanas, like we got all sorts of stuff. Thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing. See this little piece of cool right here? Right, where to go? Right there. That is a... Okay, I have to stop because we've got the one and only, the OTB Lilith Blood in here asking, can Mike feel me glaring at him for the CTE joke?
Yes. Yes, I can.
But I want to say thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing. Cameron hooked us up with this light box. If you have not had the opportunity to go there yet, go to jrebs3dprinting.com. If you've got a logo you want in a light box, he can get you taken care of. Thank you to heckyeahradio.com for giving us a good little button there where if you missed the podcast, and shame on you if you missed the podcast, you can click on the Not Your Average Mark button, catch an audio version of the podcast. Thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for all the awesome graphics we get, to the WrestlingSociety.com for including us in their podcast room, and of course, to the one that makes this all work, the one, the only, the guy, Patrick. We appreciate everything you do for us. Some of the things he has done for you is put together a website. If you haven't been there yet, www.notyouraverage.mark.com. We've got all sorts of cool stuff going on there. Go check that out. And we've also got our Discord that's been put together. We've been doing watch-alongs. We watch Raw, we watch SmackDown, we watch the PLEs. It's a good time. We get to watch the show, talk about wrestling. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't done it yet, after the podcast, go to our Discord. You can find the link in our About section or on any of our socials and join us. We'll be here tomorrow night, actually, doing a SmackDown watch-along. So before we get too deep into everything from the week, I do want to take a moment to mention some people we've lost over the weekend since last time we've talked. Of course, the legend that is Sabu. He had his last match with GCW a couple of weeks ago, or I say a couple of weeks, this was during WrestleMania weekend. Sabu is an innovator. His presence and his contributions to the wrestling world are definitely going to be missed. And on a more closer to home note, we've also lost Showcase Chance Williams. I personally never got the opportunity to watch him wrestle, but I've heard lots of stories, and his mark on the wrestling world will be missed as well.
He dang sure will.
So now that we've brought everything down, let's get into it. Let's do some main roster moments. We'll start with some SmackDown. I feel like this was a good start to the show. This is what I like. You know, we could have Damian Priest and LA Knight going at each other. We could do that. It's very, very easy. But I like the fact that instead of doing that, they put them in this odd couple pairing to make them a tag team where we get to let the tension build between them while they're still having to fend off Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Like, I think this is a good, refreshing way to do that. Like, and you still build the heat between them. There's obviously going to be a match that we're going to get between LA Knight and Damian Priest at some point. But this is a refreshing way to build that heat, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Those two will have a hell of a match.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. the partner of your choosing for the Chelsea Green Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega thing. It works really well. And it works really well for me because I don't care what you put in front of Chelsea Green, she's going to turn it into gold.
Yes, absolutely. She's one of those people that here's a crap sandwich, and she'll figure out how to make it work and digestible.
And she does it so effortlessly. She is absolutely one of my favorite people on the roster, bar none. The fact that partner of Zelina's choosing was Alexa Bliss made it even better. Love me some Alexa Bliss. I don't think that's a secret to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But while they did well as partners, they won their match. Did we happen to notice the that subtle little side eye that Alexa Bliss gave Zelina Vega's U.S. Championship?
Oh, it's something shiny. So yeah,
yeah, it definitely is. We got some continuance. Like the feud between Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, Naomi, and Jade is great. There's no question there. But before we get into that, them teasing some beef between Charlotte and Jade, that's good stuff. Because since Jade has come to the WWE, Charlotte Jade has just been a thing. It needs to happen.
Oh yeah, of course. But I still think Jade has some more unfinished business before that happens.
Oh no, this was definitely just planting a seed, and I'm glad that they did. The match itself gave Jade the opportunity to be the powerhouse that she is. She did the Samoan drop. She did the suplex into a press slam. I mean, it's giving her the opportunity to showcase what it is that brought her to the dance in the first place.
Yeah. And growth upon that. She has done tons and tons and tons of training now, and you can tell the difference between AEW Jade and WWE Jade.
Oh, 100%. And that's when it gets to the point that she's cleared up all of her problems with Nia Jax, she's cleared Tiffany, Naomi, all of that, and we get to Jade, Charlotte, it's going to tear the whole damn house down. No questions in my mind about that.
When are you expecting that to happen? Possibly SummerSlam? Or do you think it's going to be after that?
I think it's after. I think maybe Survivor Series.
Okay.
If not, build up for the Rumble. Like, it's going to take a little while. Because she's got a lot to clear up here first.
Yeah, she does have a lot to clear up. Also, we got to make sure that both of these individuals stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because, to be honest, Charlotte Flair, as great as she is, she's been a little bit injury prone here lately.
A little bit. I'll give you that. So, Legado del Fantasma. I like Legado. I always have. Them versus Rey Fenix. It's already a good match. Them setting that up, already a good match. But I like that they set it up with Andrade. You know, making Andrade Rey Fenix's partner, because it lets them move several storylines all at once. Something that I would dare say has become commonplace in a Triple H era.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one match moving several stories.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, we're going to get Santos Escobar versus Andrade in something major.
That's a royalty match.
It is.
Like, that is lucha royalty.
Very much so.
So they managed to do the one and only thing that I wanted to see out of a match where you've got Fraxium and the Street Profits, and that's slow it down.
What?
Now, I know it sounds crazy. I know. But if you slow them down now, even doing it with the injury, you know, doing it because they're, you know, Street Profits are injured from their TLC match too.
Mm-hmm.
If even doing it like that, if you slow it down now, what's that match going to look like when both teams go full send?
Honestly, I kind of like the slower pace to everything, because it lets things breathe. Because once these guys get to the point where they're going to go, it's going to be less sailing instead of more, and that's going to be that. I feel like that's more of a hindrance than a help. if they're just doing spot after spot after spot and they're not getting the full sell out of it.
I get that. I mean, that makes good sense. I'm just saying, you get Mello, or not, I said Mello, I'm reading the notes ahead. You get Tez and Praxium going full speed. It's gonna be like you took a couple of those super bounce balls from when we were kids and just threw them in the ring. It's gonna be all over the place.
It'll definitely be all over the place. I do hope that they pace themselves a little bit instead of just going, okay, we're gonna do this, and this, and we have 7 minutes to do everything. So
we're gonna do everything.
We're gonna get all our shit in.
Yeah. I will say the chemistry between Mello and Aleister Black is impressive. Like it surprised me. I didn't really see that as being as good as it was. I'm not sure how I feel about Aleister Black and the no sell. Though I've never been a fan of the no sell.
No, it's something. I mean, once we get to BCW and actually talk about some of the stuff, we'll actually go into a little bit of how a no sell is supposed to work versus how other things are. If you've got a guy that's the same size as the other guy, there should be some sort of registry there every single time.
Yeah, these guys are not the same size.
Who's not the same size?
Mello and Aleister Black?
Well, Mello may be a little bit shorter, but the
I guess they got similar build.
Yeah.
Well, this was a good match, and the two of them, like I said, the chemistry was impressive in it. But can we talk for just a moment about how key The Miz is here?
Okay.
Name me one other star. I'm gonna give you a challenge right now. Name me one other star that can be as animated and over the top in the corner. You know, not in the match, but being in the corner of his partner Mello.
Okay.
They could be more animated, more over the top without taking anything away from the match itself.
Damien Sandow.
Fair. I'll give you that one. It's very rare. It's very hard to find, and I will say 100 times over that Miz is a true master of his craft.
Yes, absolutely. And The Miz is the all-around. People should have aspirations to be The Miz.
Yeah.
Really and truly. Because how everything works with him, I mean, he doesn't injure his opponents. He doesn't injure himself.
True.
He has not had a major injury the whole time in his tenure that has been
25
almost
years.
Yeah. It's been an amazingly long time. It hasn't been 25, but
it's getting close.
It's well over. I believe 2005 was whenever he made his debut.
See, now I have to look. You can talk about the match. I have
talk about the match. How am I supposed to talk about the match? Can I be honest?
Sure.
I caught highlights. The reason why I caught highlights is because I was up to my eyeballs and busy with BCW Friday night.
That's very fair. And September 1st, 2006 was the debut of The Miz.
Okay. See? So, yeah. We're looking at year number 20 right now.
Rick makes a good point. The biggest no-sellers in history were the Road Warriors.
Yeah, and they ruined it for everybody, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So with WWE buying AAA, either buying, I don't know if it's buying or acquiring, whatever word you want to use there, it makes sense to have some of the best in the game showcasing proper lucha libre. So when you had Rey Fenix and Andrade versus Legado, this was already going to be a high energy, super high flying match. And that's exactly what we got. It was high energy, it was fast paced, but was it strange for anybody but me to see Rey Fenix partnered with somebody whose name is not Penta?
Yeah, it's definitely something different for that. But I mean, Phoenix was in some 6-man tags
True.
and stuff like that as well. So, or should I say how the Clown Show says it, trios matches?
A trios match.
But yeah, I believe eventually we are going to get the Lucha Brothers at their finest in WWE.
Oh, 100%.
But I'm glad that they're not just jumping straight to that and letting these guys have their own, get their own personalities and everything else instead of throwing them together. And honestly, Phoenix is a good wrestler.
Yes.
Penta is the one that has the personality.
He is the showman, for sure. Speaking of showman, John Cena. So he's been on this whole thing about, the crowd is terrible, the crowd abuses him. So him shrugging off the fact that somebody threw a beer bottle at him instead of just raging played so deep into that it was gold. Like, I thought that was wow.
Yep.
So,
and shame on you, whoever it is.
Absolutely.
Because seriously, we're over the throwing things now. This is not 1996 in WCW where we can throw trash in the ring. It's not something that is good for. It's not good for the crowd to do so, because I mean, honestly, would you want to be the guy that was responsible for ending somebody's career because you threw a beer bottle at their face and ended up tearing their retina?
Yeah, exactly. We're in a spot right now where we have some of the best professional wrestling in the world going on. And that's at all levels. That's at the televised level. That's at the indie level. That's at all levels. We've got some of the best wrestling ever. It's such a great time to be a fan of wrestling. Why would you try to fuck it up by throwing a beer bottle at John Cena? I don't understand it.
Well, he got the boot that night.
Good. I hope he gets banned. Going back to Cena, though, after he trash talks Randy, trash talks his family, trash talks drug tests that he failed in the past, like going over everything, it was kind of cool to see the whole fake Randy swerve. You have Randy Orton come in a black hoodie and jump into the ring, and Cena gets him, puts him down, but then the real Randy Orton shows up and RKO. Just like that. It was a solid ending to take us into Backlash. Backlash?
Yes,
Backlash. Now, I don't have my notes up for Backlash because, things. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Backlash, for being a PLE as close as it was to Mania, was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Lyra Becky was the match. I enjoyed that match thoroughly. Thought it was great. Of course, Lyra Valkyria retaining her title.
Yeah, I did
broken nose, maybe.
I did not see that happen. I did not see Valkyria retaining.
See, I did.
I honestly thought that it was going to be a Becky on the high horse being a heel and going in and beating her, and then have the story where Lyra's trying to get that back.
No, see, I think that there are plans for Becky and Bayley. And I think that what's going on right now is until Bayley's back, this gives the perfect opportunity for Becky to elevate Lyra. And I think that's what we were looking at there.
Well, she damn sure did give her a lot of. She gave her a lot.
Yeah,
she did.
She did, absolutely. Dom Penta was a good match.
Yes, it was.
Like, much better than I anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to give it, and mark your calendars, because I never thought I'd hear myself say these words. I've got to give it to Dominic Mysterio. The growth that he has shown, the way he carries himself, as the Intercontinental Champion, like, Dom is on another level from where he was even 6 months ago.
Well, he's starting to do the right things, and it's starting. There's starting to be a development, a little click in the character, where he's evolving a little bit more. And I saw a report from an interview that he did, said that whenever they go to Phoenix, he's going to go for the first time without his dad to Eddie's grave.
Oh, wow.
With the Intercontinental title and tell him that we did it.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. I was impressed by that match. Like I said, Dom did great. Was able to retain.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember what all we had. What else do we have on Backlash? Of course, we had Cena, Randy Orton.
Cena Orton, Gunther, and Pat McAfee.
Oh man, Pat McAfee. Kudos to Pat McAfee because I expected that to be a squash match.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really did, and it wasn't. I think the coolest point of the night for me, for that match, was Gunther grabbing a hold of Michael Cole, who came in to interfere, and a flying kick coming in from Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was a, hey, we're on the 1 yard line. Can you punt that thing as far as you can?
Yeah, exactly. That was a hot match. I enjoyed that. And of course Gunther won. But Pat McAfee earned a lot of respect from a lot of people that night.
Including Gunther.
Yes.
Gave him the little nod as he walked away.
All in all, Backlash was great.
But Michael Cole did a really good job in that match too.
Yes, he did.
He got up there and started doing, he was Bobby the Brain Heenan all over again. Especially with the Ravishing Rick Rude Ultimate Warrior finish that they tried.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, it shows that it can be okay for announcers to get involved in matches. It's okay.
The viewpoints of Guapo do not reflect on me or BCW.
No, they don't. No, I enjoyed Backlash. It was a good PLE. I wasn't sure what to expect with it being so close following WrestleMania.
Oh, it was a good little 5-match card.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's become kind of the blueprint.
Yeah, and it did what it was supposed to do.
Oh,
it got us excited for some more wrestling.
It did, and we got some more on Monday night. What a hot start to J. Conrad Photography, my boy Josh. I'll bet Gorilla Militia would second that. You're probably right. Yeah, we're going to talk about them in a little bit. There was some craziness that ensued during BCW, and it involved the Gorilla Militia and yours truly, and it was crazy. And
okay, focus. You're getting a little ADHD. Let's go back to Raw.
Squirrel. There was a hot start, a really, really hot start to the show. From Punk calling out Heyman to getting attacked by Seth and Braun to Sammy coming out to Jay showing up. Like the whole thing was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a great start to what it's going to be.
It was very exciting.
Chad Gable versus Penta. Yes. Yeah. Gable Americana.
Yes.
Yeah. That guy going up again.
And Penta was cussing him the whole
entire match. Yes, he was. It's probably the coolest thing in that match for me. Penta's great all the way around, and so is Chad Gable. What a technician,
Mm-hmm.
But catching a code breaker while Gable is flying in, that was the coolest shit ever.
Okay, I'm going to rewind just a little bit. Dominic Mysterio doing the suicide dive out between the top and middle rope and catching Penta in a DDT.
Yes,
that was
cool.
impressive.
That was very impressive. That's part of what I was talking about with Dom.
Things are clicking now.
They are, and I couldn't be more excited. So we had the Creed brothers versus the War Raiders. It was a great match, and the thing that surprised me is the crowd was really, really quiet during this match. I don't know if it's because there's more fire to the tag team division on SmackDown than there is on Raw, or if they're just not feeling it or what, but I thought it was a good match.
Well, I think that one of the things that we're getting is we have smaller guys. I mean, um, you know, we have the Street Profits. The Street Profits are the biggest team that they have over on SmackDown right now. And
that's why they're the champs.
Yeah. Well, you have the you have the Vikings. Mm-hmm. You have War Raiders. That's going to take me a long time because the names have changed so much. But bigger guys have to work harder. Mm-hmm. Especially if they're trying to do flashy stuff like the War Raiders do,
and they do a good job of it.
But they have to work harder if that's the style that they're trying to do. But what I will notice and will take into their stuff that makes them one of my favorites to actually watch mm-hmm. is the fact that they still apply the rules.
True. Very, very true.
There is no slapping somebody on the butt as they're getting up to go on the top rope. We did see that on the other side, though.
Yes. Yes, we did.
The Creed brothers were kind of all over the place, and the casuals that I had watching with me, they made a note of it. They asked me about it.
Okay. Well, and I like it when that happens because it gives a chance to explain. I think the storytelling aspect, you know me, I'm a story guy.
Yeah.
The storytelling aspect of having the New Day, quote unquote, set up their own choice for number one contender. I think it's great. I think it's a fun way to get a match set up. However, I also feel like it's going to blow up in their faces, and it's going to do so in the shape of two very large Vikings.
Yes.
And I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah.
Bring that on. Of course, we had our champion.
I really want you to look at this and read this to yourself.
What?
Your notes. I want you to read that to yourself before you just say it because
I'm gonna say it. I worded it that way on purpose.
Really?
Our champion, main event, Jey Uso came out and yeeted all over the crowd.
I can't with you.
I mean, he did. I mean, he was yeeting over here. He was yeeting over there. He was yeeting all over the crowd. He yeeted a little bit on Pat McAfee. He was yeeting on everybody.
I'm not okay right now.
So he comes out and he discusses his match with Logan Paul, but he gets interrupted by Gunther. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing about this. Gunther let everybody know. Whoever wins between you and Logan Paul from Saturday Night Main Event, I'm going to take them on in Phoenix on June 9th. Very specific. June 9th, I take on the winner. Mm-hmm. Why does that resonate with me? What happens 2 days before June 9th?
Money in the Bank.
Exactly. So we have a championship match and a Money in the Bank briefcase that will be in play. Interesting things are going to happen. I just feel it. So they should hand out wet wipes with the fans to clean up all the. I mean,
I can't with y'all.
I'm trying to help with these beats on everybody.
This is like babysitting my sister's kids.
Really, with
some nerve-wracking sons of bitches.
No, I am really. I like the way they're going here, where they made it very specific because 2 days before is Money in the Bank. So I'm interested to see what we get there. I absolutely loved AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. If for nothing else, we got to see some vintage Finn Balor. Mm-hmm. And we got to see two former leaders of the Bullet Club. And they referenced the Bullet Club. Mm-hmm. They didn't call it the Balor Club. They said Bullet Club, and I like it.
Yeah, well, obviously, ever since Vince went out, the concept of there are no other wrestling promotions in the world went right along with it.
Well, no, I get that, but my concern has always been, and my thoughts on why they haven't used the phrasing Bullet Club was because it's trademarked.
It is trademarked to actually have the Bullet Club, but it is not trademarked that somebody can't talk about the Bullet Club.
Rick says if there was ever a wrestler that could endorse the ShamWow, it would be Jey Uso. I love it, Rick. I love it. We have unalived Lilith Blood.
Well, I'm right along with her.
No, I really did enjoy this match because of the move for move for move. Like they know each other so well.
They do, and it was a damn good match.
It was. Of course, we got what we knew we would get. Got the interference from the Judgment Day, and then Penta came out, and it was a Penta party after that. Hashtag Penta party.
Golly, you're just gonna keep.
What?
We gonna fight.
Yeet. 2 words, 4 letters. Yeet.
What's up?
I don't want to talk about what's up because you get put through it. We're not talking about that right now. That was a bad part of Backlash. You know, we see Doug brought it up, got my blood pressure up. Now we got to talk about it. John Cena, rat, bastard, was congratulated by R-Truth. The same R-Truth that took an RKO, so he didn't have to. The same R-Truth that stopped a punt came out to congratulate him. Said, you know, I'm proud of you, even if people say you can't wrestle. And John Cena says, if you say one more word, that was, you crossed the line. Didn't even say R2, said, Ron, you crossed the line. If you say anything else, he was just trying to congratulate. No, we're going to put him through the press conference table. You son of a... John Cena, we have issues. We're going to have words. Big words in capital letters.
I think that's a One Direction conversation.
It can be a One Direction conversation. I don't... Rat bastard. Anyway, let's get back. See, you didn't. Woosah.
Okay.
Woosah.
I got a question for you, though.
Okay, what was your question?
Okay, we're going back to our AJ versus Finn match right here. Okay,
great match.
Out of all the interference,
I know.
Where was our Intercontinental Champion?
Where was Dominic Mysterio?
Yes,
that's a very valid question. It's one that was asked of JD McDonough. It was one that was asked of Carlito, and they danced around that question the entire time. Where was Dominic Mysterio?
He was busy. He had shit to do.
He did. Camino, absolutely correct. Before John Cena walked out, after putting R-Truth through a table, he said no further questions.
I honestly think as long as Finn is going to be the heel in the situation, I don't think there's room for the Demon because they know that that's going to pop somebody.
Oh, I think the Demon will return, but I think that's going to be the Finn Balor face turn. That's going to be the catalyst for it, is he's going to come out as the Demon. What stories are going to be told to bring the Demon back out? I don't know yet. But I do feel the Demon will make an appearance at some point.
As long as it's only a temporary thing and it's an only every once in a while.
It's got to make sense is the big thing.
Yeah. But Triple H is really big on making sure things make sense now.
True. Very true. Like if the Demon Finn Balor returns, if the Demon King returns, it's going to make sense because Trips won't let it happen if it doesn't.
No.
So
I'm sure he has somebody. He has somebody that's in his circle where they're throwing these ideas out, and they've got a WTF guy sitting in that room.
Yep. So Becky Lynch, the man, hell of a promo.
Mm-hmm.
She came out and she said, "I didn't lose. So I didn't lose. Just so you know that I didn't lose." And I'm thinking we're getting that promo. I'm like, why are we doing that? But no. She starts the promo out that way and then goes full on Eminem. Talking about I am whatever you say I am.
If I wasn't, then why would you say I am?
Which Pat McAfee quoted. Eminem approves, by the way.
Does he really?
I hope he does, because if not, that's going to cost a lot. Tell me I'm wrong.
I really want to go troll Eminem's Twitter to find out if
he's good with it.
If he's good with it. Well, if not, I don't think Becky can handle that heat.
No, she don't want them hands. What I did like about that promo is that is what she said. I am whatever you say I am. You say I suck? You're right, I do. You say I'm a bitch? Show you're right. You say I'm the bad guy? Yup, sure am. Mm-hmm. So I like that she's embracing that. J-Reb saying he's busy being a grandpa. Facts. Let that sink in for a second, everybody. Eminem's a grandpa.
So's this guy. Shut up.
Lil saying he'll give him the MGK treatment. I feel for MGK, going from being Machine Gun Kelly to BB Gun Barbara, because Eminem did that. Like, he had to change music genres.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Becky don't want that smoke. The main event was just that. It was a main event level match. Of course, we had Io Sky and Rhea Ripley going up against Julia and Roxanne Perez. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because Lilith says bodied him so bad he changed genres. And yeah. It was bad.
Back to the main event.
Yeah, back to the main event. Squirrel. Anytime you put talent like that in the ring, you're going to have a great match. And this was match of the night for me. It was the main event.
Okay. Match of the night for you. After AJ versus Finn.
Mm-hmm. Still match of the night for me.
Yeah. They had a hard act to follow, and they said hold my beer.
Yes, they did. Hold my White Claw. I can get away with saying that because Roxanne Perez drinks White Claw. I've seen it. Roxanne Perez just absolutely killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Julia hasn't really had the opportunity to show on the main roster what she's capable of until Monday night, and she got in there and did her thing. I like the fact that while all of these ladies got the opportunity to shine, we even got the opportunity to see like some funny moments. Like, we got to see Rhea do the Io Sky thing.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed my ass off at that. I thought it was great.
So I'm coming for that belt.
Mm-hmm. All in all, it was a good Raw. Solid B+. I dug it.
Okay. I can see your B+.
Now, we have come to the point in time, and I'm going to go ahead and hope that the guy is sitting at his computer ready to make the thing happen, because it's time. Note from the Clown Show. All right. First and foremost, congrats and kudos to Zach Gowen for continuing to chase his dreams of being a professional wrestler. He truly is a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Yes.
And good on him for it. So what do we do if we're Tony Khan? How do we showcase that? We have got a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Let's put him against Ricochet.
Okay.
And then let's have Ricochet try to put him in a figure four.
How in the hell?
Yeah. Thank you. I wasn't sure exactly what the hell I was looking at there. He wrapped the one leg and went to grab the other one that's not there. What are we doing? I mean, yes, it was a funny spot, but what are we doing?
I don't know. I'm waiting for Rick to pop off with something in the comments over that. So it's like,
what are we doing, guys? I mean, seriously, we're going to try to put a figure 4 on a one-legged man. Like something's wrong there, in my opinion. But they try to save it. They want to do something brand new and inventive. Like Tony Khan's like, we need to add something to the match, something nobody's ever seen. Okay. A prosthetic leg. Let's use that. Seriously.
Didn't we just see that just the other day on,
we saw that
other
like
program?
2.5 weeks ago on WWE when on SmackDown when Tez beat somebody with one of the fans' prosthetic legs. But no, we're going to use Gallen's prosthetic leg, and we're going to have Mark Briscoe run out to keep Ricochet from taking it.
Well, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But how do we do that with Ricochet?
Tell my English teacher that. I tried to do some imitation, but no, she called it cheating.
That was decades ago.
Hey, why you gotta say decades? Why you can't just say years? Man, you're wrong.
Yeah, we're the same age, so
that's fair. Okay, all joking aside about all this, they did manage to do something on AEW that is new, is inventive. I will honestly and truthfully say I've never seen it before.
Okay, what's that?
A rope break in a cage match.
What?
Yes.
They have rules?
No. We had a rope break in a cage match.
Okay.
We have rules now. We're going to you get a 5 count, and we're gonna break it on the ropes.
So you're telling me in a cage match, we're gonna have some sort of a disqualification?
Oh no, because we used a weapon right after that, and the referee didn't say shit. But
these guys, come on.
This is why I call it the clown show, man. And then Will Ospreay. Oh, Will. You keep talking and you keep digging the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. This man, Will Ospreay, he is the greatest wrestler ever. If you don't believe him, just ask him. Has proclaimed to the entire wrestling watching world that AEW is just a better product. Period. Says that all the guys at WWE are good at what they do. They can tell some stories and stuff, but as a promotion, they just don't compare. And then goes on to say that he can out-wrestle 90% of the WWE roster on a bad day.
And if you don't believe him, just ask Dave Meltzer.
Why you gotta bring up Dave Meltzer for?
Because.
Why we gotta talk about Dave Meltzer?
Okay. Kenny Omega was the guy for Dave Meltzer. Giving 7 stars and everything else. All this kind of good And then we have Will Ospreay come along. And now Kenny Omega is on the back burner. He's not Dave's favorite anymore.
No, Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay is. So
I'm pretty sure I gave my opinions about Dave Meltzer and his thoughts in a clip that can be found online. Having to do with salacious acts with his neck.
Well, Mr. Will Ospreay, you believe, sir, that you are the main character in this video game.
Mm-hmm.
But you are a supporting cast role, sir.
At best. So with that, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Tony Khan,
Dave Meltzer.
You are clowns. All clowns. I've got Lilith Blood saying, I feel like when you have to say that stuff out loud over and over again, nothing could be further from the truth. I agree.
The fact is, he's trying to convince himself.
Because he ain't convincing nobody else. It is what it is. Before we go into our next segment, I do want to remind everybody, if you haven't done it yet, follow, subscribe, all the good stuff. Head over to the socials, click all the things, the bells, the whistles, the likes, the subscribes, the follows, all the things. Click all the things.
And another thing, if y'all are listening on a actual podcast platform, audio versions, go to your Spotify's, go to your Apple podcast, wherever you're getting this, go there and give a 5-star review, because what that does is that actually helps us show up in the other in these searches and stuff like that. It helps us absolutely, and it's going to get us to a bigger platform at that point. So please do what you can. Like, share, follow, all the good things.
Which brings us to this past Saturday, and the reason that we didn't watch Backlash Live, and that is BCW Head Games. I have to step out for 1 second. You go ahead and set up the night for BCW Head Games.
Okay. Well, as he runs away, because I feel that he's afraid of what we actually might get to say about the violence that was upon him later on. But we get the show started, get the national anthem going. Everything's great. Joel Montoya is in the ring doing his thing, running down the sponsors. And then all of a sudden, Jesse James, Jesse the Kid, shows up. He and I had a conversation right before that, which was, we don't have anything for you tonight, which is something that Guapo actually told him again also over the phone a few days beforehand. He shows up. I said, dude, you and your friends just have a seat in the crowd. You know, I'm sorry, we don't have anything for you. He takes it upon himself to come and get in this ring and he starts with everybody yelling over and acting like a bucket of ball holes. So Guapo is trying to talk some sense into him. He's not listening. So I go ahead and walk out of the curtain and I tell everybody, you know what? This kid's going to act like this. I have somebody that happens to be here that's going to adjust his attitude. And we cue Damian Blood.
Out comes Damian Blood. This was hard to watch.
And Damian Blood was really nice to this kid.
Yes, he was.
He did not throw one single punch.
No. And we all know what happens when Damian Blood does throw punches. Ask Pink Martin.
Yeah. Tater salad would have been the name of that. But Damian Blood out wrestled Jesse the Kid.
Yes. Jesse the Kid James not happy about it at all.
No, and I told him he can get his shit and go because he was not invited there for that.
I mean, the kid's got moxie, man. To show up, jump in the ring, and say, "Give me a match." The kid's got the chutzpah.
Yeah, but we this is not something that he should be doing at BCW.
No, I agree, and I feel like Damian Blood knocked the chutzpah right out of him.
Yeah, well,
we shall see, though.
Yes.
We got a new tag team, which I was interested to see how they would work together. Both of these guys, of course, veterans in BCW Texas and had the opportunity to see them wrestle singles, but we got to put together Draven Reeves and Mac the Franchise. Certified franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And for a first outing, I got to say, man, it was great. They went up against Diego Villalobos and Xavier Zamora representing the CW, Carnales World Order. I gotta stop for just a second and look at the comments here. Little Blood saying, wife glasses or no, Damian could get a good match out of a broomstick. Oh yeah, no question about that. And Jay Conrad Photography, Josh saying that his chutzpah ran down his leg.
This is not a family show, but BCW is a family show. We can't have that stuff running down nobody's leg there.
At least he didn't yeet on nobody. So, had to do it.
Oh my goodness.
The match between Certified Franchise and the CWO, this was a great match. Like these guys were very physical, and you could tell it was a very hard fought match.
Yeah, Diego and Zaza, man, those two right there, they've got some really good tag team chemistry with each other.
They do,
and this is not going to be the only time that we see them.
No, and I hope not. Like they're a very good tag team, and after watching a little bit of video, they're not bad in the singles competition.
No,
so they're definitely going to be. They're on my list of people to watch in BCW.
Yeah, but on top, Certified Franchise.
Mm-hmm.
They got their win.
Now, as the director of operations, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How much does that affect their ability to go after the Old School Tag Team Championship?
Well, I'd say it's a good possibility for that to be coming up very soon for them.
Okay.
As the general manager, how do you feel about the situation?
May happen, Captain.
All right then.
I do. All joking aside, I do think that whether it's sooner or later, there is going to be a shot at the title for Certified Franchise. They are a very good tag team. They do work well together, and when you take the speed and technical ability of Draven Reeves and just the overall power of Mac the Franchise, you've got all the bases covered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I could definitely see them making a run for the tag titles.
Yeah. Now, moving forward, we had Chasen D Cash with Nick Kaiser coming out. Lilith Blood, a little under the weather. Wasn't
Hope
able
you're
to
feeling
make
better, Lil.
We do, but she wasn't able to make it Saturday night. So Nick Kaiser started to run off at the mouth and said, "We'll fight anybody." Well, I had a.
You had said it right the first time.
I had
a little.
I had a little someone decided that he was going to make the trip with somebody. So note to all you independent wrestlers out there: even if you're not booked on a card, do the drives. You may end up with something.
Yeah, always make the drive. If nothing else, get your face in front of the promoter.
Yeah. So
Lilith Blood, Chasen was touched by an angel. Or a little guy in a mask. We're not sure which yet.
God. Okay. We had Chasen Cash versus Man Man. And
this was my first experience seeing anything having to do with Man Man, and it was impressive.
Okay. I talked to him. I've heard good things about him. And he's a Lou Gotti student.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll give you a shot. And he goes to the back, he's doing his thing. I'm working on sound, all the stuff that's backstage, and I look up and I see this guy that looks like the guys on the TikToks that's over there on the mic going.
This young man comes out in a orange ski mask, pulled down tight, and I don't know. I never got past the orange ski mask. I was like, what are we doing here?
And he took it off, and he had an orange do-rag underneath that.
Yeah, had the orange do-rag. So the crowd loved it.
Yeah,
that's what threw me off. Is nobody's seen this guy, here. Most of his stuff is DFW All Pro,
right?
And the crowd was there, man. They were there for Man Man.
Well, also I think that had a lot to do with nobody really likes Chasen D Cash.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair.
So anyway, these guys go in there and they are back and forth.
Yeah,
back and forth. Man Man comes off the top with this beautiful frog splash. And then the next thing that we know, CWO runs out and beats the teetotal hell out of everybody in that ring.
I kind of wondered about it. As I mentioned a moment ago, I was on commentary for this match.
Yeah.
And where the hell were they upset about what happened with Certified Franchise, or they needed to get some frustrations out? Like,
I have no idea. I've seen the guys walk out, and then they start to go beating people up, and I was like, what's going on? And then I look back, and Emilio's kind of just strolling around in the locker room. I go, Emilio, go get your boys. This is not time for this.
And he did. He went out there, pulled them back, said, "Come on, let's go to the back." And they sauntered on to the back.
Mm-hmm.
It was really. I was impressed with Man. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to see him back in a BCW ring.
Yeah.
So we will see about making that happen.
Next match up
was a good one, a damn good one. We have Boom Boom Brandon Groom.
Yep.
That's just fun to say. Going up against Pete Blackney.
Yes. And who came out on top of that?
I will say this. Chris Watson did have an awesome duster.
No. I guess I'm against everybody on the duster because I think it looks like somebody took his sister's shower curtain and put it on.
Damn, I thought I was talking shit.
Okay, I don't like the duster. I don't like the duster, not at all. Well, not even a little bit.
We did get El Güero Bandito Chris Watson out to the ring, followed by Boom Boom Brandon Groom. I'll let you guys guess who the crowd was behind on that one.
Yeah,
they love them some Brandon Groom. The energy that he comes out of the curtain with transfers to the crowd immediately.
Yeah,
and I love it. I love every bit of that.
Absolutely, Brandon Groom. You know, he's got 20 plus years of experience. And some of that was in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he knows how to grab a hold of that crowd, put it in the palm of his hand, and do what he needs to do with it.
Dance puppets.
So Watson ends up walking out with the referee holding his hand up at the end of it.
All right,
what happened?
We need to talk about that. I have a problem. I understand. You've drilled it into my head. The ref's decision is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. But it was painfully obvious that when Chris Watson rolled up Brandon Groom, Groom's feet were on the ropes. That should have been a break. Okay. Chris Watson stole that match. Again, the referee's call is final.
Yes.
And I understand. I just don't agree.
Well, eventually, I mean, we got a tournament coming up in July, so
we do. It's gonna be cool.
So that one, we're gonna put that on the back burner, and eventually those two will meet up one more time. Now,
good.
I actually brought up something that I was meaning to say. July 12th, we will be having the Barn Burner Invitational Tournament.
All right, check this out. Can I explain to him how it works?
Yes, you can.
Good.
But do you have that gimmick?
I do. It's in my bag right over there.
Well, let's show the people because we didn't get a chance to show the people the other day.
Let's show the people. Take a look, people, at the awesomeness that is this.
This is
spot here.
The trophy for the winner of the Barn Burner Invitational.
We have 3 stages to this tournament. Number 1, we will have 15 people outside the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And the bell is going to ring.
Yes.
And the first 7 people that make it from the outside of the ring to the inside of the ring,
over the top rope,
get to go into the second part. So a reverse battle royal, if you will. Number 2 is a true battle royal. And as people get thrown over the top rope, that will determine their place in the tournament matches. So the first 2 people over the top rope will be going against each other. second or third and fourth, fifth and sixth,
so on and so
so
on.
on and so forth.
And the winner of that will get a bye in the tournament.
Yes.
Into the semifinals.
We will then run the tournament matches until we have a winner. That winner gets this.
And what else does that happens whenever that winner gets that?
With this, the winner can cash in at any time they see fit for a chance at the BCW Texas title.
So, kind of a money in the bank situation?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
Let me look over at the comments for a second, just to get this stuff out there. J. Reb saying he loved wearing a duster until Columbine happened. Yeah, I think we all had to quit wearing them at that point.
Yes.
Lil saying seems to be happening a lot lately. We all saw Gino Tap talking about her match with Gino, and I saw it with my own eyes. The referee didn't see it.
No. But we did happen to miss a match on this, on your little notes here. The two people that have been announced for this tournament so far
I did miss that match.
Is Marty Snow and Marcus MD.
These two guys put on an and this is funny because, you know, Marcus is a doctor, put on an absolute clinic.
I see what you did there.
You see what? Don't you say it.
They kind of like it.
They no, you haven't missed intermission yet. They put on an absolute clinic as far as technical wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like their match was outstanding, which is why I was happy to hear you offer them both a spot in the tournament.
Yes, I believe it's very deserving.
Yes, very well deserved. But I would like to talk about something that was very undeserved.
Okay, go ahead.
Intermission. Intermission was going to be cool. You know, I'm happy for all of our followers. I'm happy to have the support that our podcast has. You guys that are watching and listening right now, anybody that's listening after the fact, we love you guys and we try to do things for you. So I got in the ring, thanked everybody for being a follower, introduced the one and only Damian Blood. Because as promised, your boy's going to take a perfect flex, which I did. You know what? I'm pretty sure the guy has just a little taste of what happened. There'll be more video coming out, but Patrick, give him a taste of what happened during intermission.
Go, Bravo!
And that wasn't all.
That hurt. There's still a mark there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's still a legible handprint on my chest. I don't know what I did to them. I didn't do anything to them. They were sitting there staring me down, and I looked at them, and they said, "Say something." I told them I'm just trying to do a little thing for the followers, which they are apparently, because one of the things I got told before being brutally attacked was that they do watch the podcast and were aware that a chop from said was one of the options.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Thanks for watching the podcast, guys. Appreciate you.
I walked out. Okay, whenever intermission was going on, I had things that I was getting ready and trying to get done for the next half of the show. I see the microphone starting to roll as you and Damian are in the ring. So I'll walk out very calmly, whisper in Raymond Wong's ear, "Hey, do me a favor, make sure that microphone doesn't hit the ground." And I walk back and I go do my thing. Damian walks back. He's like, "How did that look?" I said, the suplex looked great, blah, 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 blah. And The next thing I know is Damien comes back over to me and he's like, I need a chair. And I was like, oh, okay, here's a chair. And
I do want to give a special and personal thank you to Damian Blood and to Marcus MD. I kind of remember seeing Brandon Groom and Mac the Franchise. Thank you for helping me to the back. There's not a whole lot of way I could have made that on my own. When the full video comes out, you'll see why. There was a lot more than just that chop that happened. But a very special thanks to Damien for coming to the rescue with the chair. And thank you to Marcus MD, to Damien, and to anybody else that helped me to the back. That was... I missed the rest of the show. I was being checked out by medical. Doc was checking me out, making sure I was okay. It was bad. Yeah.
Well, okay, you being married to the man for years, you should know that when Damien says, give me a chair, there is no questions asked. You just go here.
Damien a chair. Lilith Blood in the chat saying, I hate bullies, and I love that Mike just handed Damien a chair. No questions asked. No, because you don't ask him if Damien asks for a chair, you give Damien a chair.
But the one thing that Guapo is not telling everybody is Franco D'Angelo decided to be the electric company, and he didn't pay the bill. His lights went out.
The bill was paid. I've got the receipts to prove it.
No, we don't need to be talking receipts.
I want to say this to Franco D'Angelo, who said, your point is made. I want nothing to do with you guys. This is not... I'm not a wrestler, bro. I mean, as funny as that sounds for me to say, I'm not a wrestler, and I want no parts of that. So I'm saying it here officially live on the podcast. I want no parts of that. Rick saying, got to be more aware, man. I know you're passionate about the business. I know you love being involved, but there are people out there who look at participation like yours as a non-wrestler as a slight, and those people will try to harm you. I've found that out. Lesson learned. Now, that being said, to Ced and to Franco D'Angelo, I'm not going anywhere. I'm the GM of BCW Texas. I ain't going nowhere. But I'm not doing that shit again. That doesn't happen again.
Okay. Well,
if I have to bring my own chair to the ring, I will.
I would suggest you just let that sleeping dog lie, and I would stay on the other side of the building from Franco and Ced.
I appreciate the vote of confidence there, Cameron, but no, I'm good. Cameron saying with training, I bet you could take him. Now I'm all right.
Now, what you missed.
Yes, please fill me in on the things I've missed.
After we were trying to get you safely out of the way.
Oh no, we have to stop. Little Blood saying, all you got to do is ask. I'll be your personal security ninja. I have a Damien in my back pocket.
Well, apparently he does too.
So what is the next milestone? The next milestone will be something that...
750?
Yeah, the next milestone will be something that the Guerrilla Militia has no access to. Because I will say this, the suplex was great. I enjoyed the experience of seeing what it's like.
And it hurt like hell, didn't it?
It was uncomfortable, but it was a good uncomfortable, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I enjoyed getting the experience of what it's like to take a suplex. And so there will be when we hit milestones, there will be more things to come. But it will be in area and in a situation that the guerrilla militia has no access
Access
to.
to. Yeah. So the guerrilla militia is standing there and they are talking smack to the crowd and they're turning around and talking smack to the guy. TJ and Atticus consider this a invitation to come out and hit these two with the belt.
Yeah. I mean,
And that started the whole match. And it was pretty ugly. Atticus got his ass handed to him for the majority of that match. The heat was on. And then TJ got the hot tag, came in and tried to clean a little bit of house. He was able to muscle them around just a little bit. It was interesting to see because I haven't really seen many people other than Phoenix do that to them.
that's fair.
So Damian Blood comes back out as the referee's trying to go for the 3 count with the guerrilla militia trying to pin Nefarious. Pulls the referee out of the ring before he hits the 3.
Okay.
Referee's standing there going, "Why'd you do that? What the hell?" And Atticus decides to get down there and get in Damian's face and say, "Why did you do that? What the hell?" And Damian said, "Hey, what's that?" And punched him right dead in the face.
Well, if I were to be out there, which
Right in front of the referee.
I was unable to do, I would have asked Atticus, why the hell did you do that? What are you thinking?
Well, at that point in time, the referee had to throw the match out. So still, your BCW old school tag team champions, Team Nefarious.
Okay.
The guerrilla militia, however, possession is 9/10 of the law, they believe. They have possession of the old school tag team championships.
Really?
And Josh Ryan decided to go out there and try to get a word with Franco on their way out. And Franco said a couple of colorful words, walked back through the curtain, and said, "You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to go back out there and say some more colorful words." And said, "By God, this isn't the way I wanted to take these titles. So, since Guapo's out of commission, Mike, why don't you get out here and you give me a title shot?" So, ask and you shall receive. Franco D'Angelo is now the #1 contender for the Texas Championship. And
Okay.
at Hot Blooded, July 12th, it will be Franco D'Angelo versus Damo McCullough.
That's going to be a hell of a match. Sure. Their ring, but
Well, complete disclosure here. I did not want to end up on the receiving end of anything that you just got. So,
understandable. Understandable.
and it was whoever wins the main event match. That'll be who Franco faces.
Okay.
So, next matchup was Jeb versus Emilio Guzman.
I know I didn't get the opportunity to see this match, but I know building up to this match and going into this match, man, Jeb's had a lot.
Yeah.
As of late, his head has been in a lot of places, and
yeah, it has. And what ended up happening, this was a match dedicated to the memory of his mother. He went out there and he fought the good fight. Emilio had him in the middle of the ring with a submission on when the time elapsed.
oh no,
So
it went to a time limit draw.
it went to a time limit draw,
Oh,
and Jeb wasn't having it.
okay.
Jeb wasn't having it. Emilio wasn't having it. They both wanted 5 more minutes.
I dig that.
So, without even consulting me, I was walking out there to go ahead and grant the 5 minutes. But without that, the referee in charge says, "Fine, 5 more minutes."
Hey,
We
yeah,
got
5 more
they
minutes.
got their 5 more minutes, and Jeb only needed about 80 of that seconds.
Okay.
Emilio tried to do something dastardly. Jeb grabbed a hold of him, gave him the roll the dice, and that was it.
Oh, so Jeb got the win.
Jeb got the win.
Man, congrats to Jeb for that.
Now here's the tough pill to swallow. Jeb says that he loves everybody, but he needs to take some time off to get his mental health together and to regroup.
I was of a mind that might happen, and nobody's earned it more.
No,
So
you're right.
Jeb, from everybody here at the podcast, from all of us, man, do whatever you need to do. We all love you, and we can't wait to see you back. But that's 100% on your timeline, man.
Yep, absolutely. Now, yes, exactly, Eska. He is enough.
He is enough. That's right.
Now, Jason Zane versus Nathan Briggs.
Mm-hmm.
Loser leaves town, last man standing match.
That had to have been brutal.
There were tables, there were ladders, there were trash cans, there were chairs.
We had a TLC match, or TLCT match.
They were hitting each other with anything that wasn't nailed down. Ultimately, Nathan Briggs walked out just barely with the win.
Wow. So that's it for Jason Zane then.
Yep, that was it. He is no longer he is being wiped off the roster.
Wow. Didn't see that coming, honestly. He's always been very, very calculated.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly believed that his calculating way of working things was, I honestly thought he was going to win.
The most fun, whenever the guy gets this video uploaded,
Oh, I can't wait. I need to watch it.
you will enjoy it because they tried to kill each other, and they hit a table spot in the middle of the ring, and the table did not break.
Ooh. Ooh, somebody got it.
Yeah. Well, they made up for it because the other table that they had did break.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But
I
anywho,
see this video.
pay attention to the socials. We'll get that video out as quickly as we possibly can. Now, time for the main event.
Main event, Damo versus Gino.
Damo versus Gino. That match was a banger.
I was going to say, if the build up to that, the promos were any kind of sign as to what this match was going to be, it had banger written all over it.
Oh yeah. They both were giving it to each other just as gratuitous as possible. And Damo turned Gino inside out with that twisting lariat,
Man, that's
which I believe he's
beast of a
calling
hit.
the top hand clothesline.
Okay, makes sense.
He drilled him with it, and Gino's toes came out of his shoes.
Damn.
He hit him so hard. So
And still,
your BCW Texas champion, Damo McCullough.
I dig it.
Damo goes down. Josh Ryan grabs a hold of a microphone. Damo thanks the fans, thanks the town, does his he loves Texas.
He represents Texas well.
and he said that he's going to get ready for Franco D'Angelo.
Man, you better get ready.
But the one last thing, according
More?
yes, referee Parker was
Good
in
dude,
the
by
ring.
way.
Referee Parker was in the ring. He was checking on Gino. He helped Gino get back to his feet and everything else. And Gino starts mouthing at the ref.
See, Gino.
And he pushed Parker.
Oh, did Parker Hebner him?
No, Parker did not Hebner him. Parker Austined him. Gave the kick and the stunner
Yeah,
to Gino
go
Rivera.
Parker. I dig it. That a boy.
And that's how we went home.
I like it. See, I can't wait to see this video now because I missed all of that.
And Joel Montoya, the line of the night. I don't know what that was all about, but why don't you bring
I
a
heard
friend to the
about
next
this.
show?
I heard about this. I got told about this on the way home. That Joel had said, I don't know what that was all about,
But I think you need to bring some friends next time.
It was a great show. Half of it I got to see, and I'm excited to see the rest of it. The rest of it sounded great too.
Yeah. But we raised a little bit of money
Okay. That show, of course, for
teacher appreciation.
teacher appreciation. Yes.
So what we ended up doing with the money, we had our PR girl, Crystal.
Mhm.
She went out today and she bought all the kinds of stuff for teacher baskets. And there were a few teachers in the audience,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a few teachers that are part of this that are friends and family of the staff.
Mhm.
So we are going around to those individuals and we are giving them appreciation baskets with classroom supplies in them.
Which is awesome. As the husband of a teacher, teachers don't get nearly the appreciation that they should for what they do for our kids, what they got to put up with from our kids. I mean,
Not to mention these classroom supplies that you see in these classrooms. No, we didn't get the vodka, but
it was tequila.
anyway, the classroom supplies, they're the teacher's responsible for that.
Yeah, that comes out every time Mandy needs something for her classroom. It comes out of the Russell Fund, which is my wallet.
Well, Mandy gets a basket,
That's awesome.
and
Quite
she
appreciative.
won't. It won't nearly have to go near as deep in the Russell Fund.
That's awesome. My wallet thanks you, as does my wife.
So all in all, that was it. Now we've got not this Saturday, but next Saturday,
24th, Squared Circle Pro Tornado Slam.
we get to have a town hall meeting.
Here's what I know. I don't know if Rick wants to throw anything else out there, but this is what I know right now. I know that announcements are coming Monday on the official Squared Circle Pro website.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's going to be a town hall meeting to start the show. And over and above that, I don't know shit else.
Same.
That's what I know about Tornado Slam. Rick keeping everything very close to the vest on this. I wish I could tell you more. I know it's going to be crazy. I know you're not going to want to miss it. I know this town hall is going to be eye-opening. Is the words that were used to me.
Okay. Message for all of the employees of Squared Circle Pro and of the fans. Wear your thick skin.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need it. Because Rick is not holding anything back, and nor should he.
Yeah, if the last show was any kind of indication, it's going to get wild and crazy.
Yes, absolutely. It is something that we are going to look forward to, very much so.
Yes.
Now, we have approached that time.
We have, in fact, it is 9:30.
Now, I'm going to hold it off to you for your final
hell?
thoughts.
That's small.
I know. Tag, motherfucker.
I enjoy so much the opportunity to do this every week. I enjoy that you guys join me to do this every week. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me this platform. In the future, milestones, like I said, are going to be done in a way that has limited access, because that shit ain't happening again. But it does go to the point I've made several times before, is you never know what you're going to get in independent wrestling. You never know when something crazy is going to happen. So make sure you're checking out your independent wrestling. If you're in the area, next Saturday night, Jake's Back Room, that's going to be the place to be for Tornado Slam. If you're not in the area, heckyeahradio.com. You can watch it live on heckyeahradio.com. Not quite as good as being there, but it'll give you a chance to see what's going on. Rick, or Eska saying it's Rick versus everybody. Everybody. Rick says, we will open with a town hall. I will be making matches live in the ring. That's why I don't know nothing about what's going on, because Rick's going to handle that in the ring.
Well, I guess that means you don't have a week long
Yeah,
gimmick.
That does make a week-long run up to Squared Circle Pro a little difficult.
It does.
Because I don't know who's going to be there. I know I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be
and
there.
I'm looking forward to it. But now that I've given my final thoughts, it's your turn. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts? Spay and neuter your pets.
What are you, Bob Barker?
Yes, I am Bob Barker. No, I have no final thoughts. Really, he said it all. Support your local indie scene, and appreciate this gift of wrestling that we get.
Don't
all
throw beer
the time.
bottles.
And don't be a douchebag.
Yeah, don't be a dick. Hashtag.
Well,
that does it. Mike, thank you for being on the show. Appreciate it. Thank you for filling me in on what I missed on the show, because I kind of wondered about some of it.
Yeah.
Video will be coming soon of the entire show. We'll have some video edits of what happened in the ring during intermission that we'll share with everybody. We'll be talking a little bit more about that next Thursday. I'm going to do my best to have Rick on. I don't know how much I'll be able to get out of him, but we're going to try to talk Squared Circle Pro with Rick next Thursday. Same 9 a.m. time, same 9 a.m. channel. Until then, I'm Guapo. That's Mike Caldwell. We're not your average marks. We'll see you next week. Yeah.